Welcome, everyone, to the Inspirational Business Women Show. This is Virginia Parsons, your host, and I'm so happy to be here with you today because we have some exciting information coming your way from my very special guest, Michelle Kopper. Now, I want to thank you all for being here because I know your time is valuable, and I know you're going to receive some valuable tips and advice from Michelle today. And I want you to know it really is my passion to provide you, the entrepreneur, with a goldmine of inspirational tips, strategies, and advice to help you grow your business from inspirational businesswomen in the know. So as I say, I'm thrilled to introduce you to Michelle Kopper. We're going to be meeting her in just a moment, but here's our topic. We're going to be discussing how to unleash your message for income and impact. Now, before we get started, I want to ask you a favor. I'm going to play the preview trailer. And while you're watching it, I know you can do just a little multitasking. And that is, would you help spread the word and let other people know that this interview is taking place right now? Go ahead and invite them in. And I know that they're going to be as pleased with the information from Michelle as you are. So I'm going to go ahead and play the preview trailer, and we'll introduce you to Michelle in just a moment. All right, I think you can see we are in for a great treat with Michelle today. Now, I want you to know that today's show is sponsored by hangout-marketing.com, where you can receive a complimentary live stream marketing assessment. And why might you want to do that? Well, first of all, it'll only take you a couple of minutes. And what it's going to do is reveal to you just where you stand as far as using live stream in your own business to brand, grow, and market yourself. So if you'd like to take that assessment, all you need to do is text #success to 775-800-4179. Or if you're out of the country, you can go to hangout-marketing.com. And you might even qualify for a complimentary Shine strategy session with me, where we'll sit down and go over your assessment, and I'll give you some guidance on how you can start using live stream marketing in your business to grow even more. All right, so let's move on to a nice introduction for Michelle. Now, Michelle is a transformational message mentor and the leading voice for video and visibility expertise. Now, she helps coaches, creatives, healers, and speakers find their voice, amplify their message, and expand their presence. Michelle's unique approach to visibility, both online and off, helps you find your words and activate your confident presence into your greatest marketing asset so that your message inspires and moves your audience to engage and hire you. Isn't that what it's all about? So we're going to be talking about 3 ideas today on how to unleash your message. The first is, how about the best visibility strategies that turn your followers and fans into your ideal clients? Then she's going to share with us how to avoid the most common pitfalls that can tank your visibility and slow your sales. Oh, we need to hear that one as well. And finally, Michelle is going to offer 3 pro tips from the Performers Toolkit that can help you shine. So Michelle, come on in and say hi to our audience, won't you?
Hello. How are you? So good to be here.
We love having you here, Michelle. And you and I have a lot in common, and we've enjoyed camaraderie over the last several years. And I've just loved seeing your approach to visibility and finding your voice, because I really feel that there's so many people out there that have a passion for something, a desire to share it, and yet are just held back by their own limiting beliefs and not necessarily having the skill set yet to present what they know and love to the public. So you are just a godsend to that group of people. And that's why I'm thrilled to have you here today.
Thank you. Love to be here. Love to be here with you.
Yeah. And I just want to say that you did not start here in your field. You have evolved. Your expertise has evolved over the years. Would you share a little bit about your background and maybe some kind of a significant moment in your life that moved you to be really focused in this area?
Sure. Thank you. That's a great question. I was called. I felt a feeling that I could only describe today as being called by something to do something big. And from the youngest age, I felt called. And for many, many years, the first few decades of my life, I felt that calling was to sing. And I wanted to be an angel in the church Christmas play and sing with the heavenly host. And that's what I was that was the first sense of called. I felt it so deeply in my bones. And of course, we lived next door to the little neighborhood church in a tiny little town. Grandma and grandpa were elders, and I went to Sunday school every day. So I was, of course, I was an angel in the church Christmas play. I didn't even have to audition. And, there I was in my little white sheet with my silver tinsel halo. And I was probably about 4 years old, and I was about to live my whole purpose for being, right? I remember it so viscerally. And the lights came up, and I was overcome with complete choking fear. And I ran to sit on my grandma's lap, and I couldn't do it. And I was so disappointed. I was so mad and so frustrated with myself. And I really, from that moment, I went on to become kept trying to sing all through school. You could be a world-class vocalist, I was told, and all I could hear was could be, right? All I could hear was could be. And I wanted it so badly, but my body would betray me. My throat would close, emotions would come up. I would be so frustrated and angry. I would cry. And I started to believe those limited beliefs that when I had the opportunity, I would tank, I would crash, my body would totally shut down. I went through decades as a professional performer. I stopped singing, became an actress, was a successful actress here locally in Portland, Oregon, moved to New York City, lived there for 17 years, had a vibrant career as a television commercial actress for many years. Well, for 3 or 4 years, I guess it was. It felt like it forever. But I had the opportunity to do, to audition for lots of theater, and that was my, I was so determined to answer that calling. And I had a big live or die moment in my mid-20s where I was really had a what I would call a spiritual awakening. And I realized that fear and this caving self-loathing was really driving a lot of my choices in life. And I started to live on a different footing. It really was like an intervention from the universe. And I began to live on a different basis. And through that, this calling to sing and to use my voice came back to me and could not be repressed or shoved away or denied. And so I went on a journey to really find and free my voice. And that led me to many teachers and healers and mentors. I'm trained as a yogi. I had Kundalini experiences. I had amazing teachers, and became a teacher for others who felt that called feeling I really want, for decades, I had a teaching studio in New York City, helping other people sing. I did became able to sing everything that I wanted to sing, had a professional career, whole songs dropping into my head. So I was able to reclaim my voice. And I discovered that there are so many of us who feel called. We feel this calling, but the stuff, our own internal stuff, choosing to believe that we are not victims, right? We choose these beliefs to feel safe, and did a ton of healing and work to reclaim my voice, and found a real passion that all of it came to mean, the meaning of it all my challenges came clear when I realized that so many of us withhold our message and withhold our voice, and that I was in a unique position of understanding, as you mentioned at the beginning, the people who feel this calling but for some reason can't step forward into it. So I had a teaching studio for years in New York City, where almost a decade, where I was helping people who never wanted to sing or didn't think about singing. My favorite were people who I can't even carry a tune. And I created a process where we began to free their voice, and their lives would expand and change miraculously. Fast forward, we moved out here, and I was teaching in studios and realized I was reaching 8 or 10 people at a time, and I wanted to be reaching more people. So about 7-8 years ago, we took the business online, and I became, my calling expanded to not just people who wanted to find their physical voice, but people who really wanted to share their message and get it out there. And today I help mostly transformation business owners to find their voice in their message, as you said at the beginning, in a way to be seen, be heard, and be hired. And it's really been an evolution of my own journey to find and free my own voice.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. It is so important that the path that we move through, the journey that we take in our life, ends up so often being that which we share, that's which we teach and uplift others with. And so the journey is so important. And for all of you listening already, I'm hearing so many great gems from Michelle. If you hear a gem, let us know. Just put #gem in the comment section and what really impacted you about Michelle and her message today, because I know she's going to have lots more for us. But think about yourself. If you have a calling, or if you've had an urge and some kind of desire to get out there in a bigger way, and what might be holding you back is how to get your messaging out there in a more impactful way, Michelle's going to have some great information for us. And let's start with the first point: the best visibility strategies that turn followers and fans into ideal clients, Michelle.
Yeah, well, you know that what's working right now and what is so powerful is live streaming. So before I go into what tool, platform, tactic, strategy, technique is working, I think it's important to touch into the visibility tool, platform, or strategy that's going to work for you is going to be one that you are most aligned with and that is playing to your strengths. So a lot of us are signing up for, I should do a podcast, I should do live streaming, I should have emails, I should do these things. And I would propose that what really is going to work, because with visibility, if you want it to lead to followers, and if those followers and fans become clients, right? And that's what you were saying at the beginning, which is one of my passions. In order for it to work, we have to go all the way through to the sale, right? And it can be easy to think I need to be more visible, and so I have to make myself do these things, right? Nike told us to just do it. And there is some transformation possible. Transformation happens through implementation. But for those of us who have a charge, especially around being visible, and many people, I haven't met anyone yet in the transformation space who doesn't have some vulnerability around being visible. So the first thing we have to do is find our most aligned platforms and do those first, and then stretch a little, right? And so if the video or live streaming is a little bit of a stretch, maybe you write things out and you do your emails and your blogs and your books and your course, and maybe you do write things down and then jump into the video or the live streaming, right? So that's the first thing I would say about getting visible is don't automatically assume that you have to do the hardest, scariest thing, right? Start with the thing that's easier, more comfortable, and then stretch into the more vulnerable thing. That said, as you know, video, and for me, especially live streaming, is the most powerful way, especially in the transformation space, for people to connect and engage with their potential clients, with their audience, serve, uplift. Your energetic presence is a huge healing force in the world. And so when you show up live, you are lifting the whole vibration on a cellular level of the planet, really, really, and especially if you're a little bit scared and vulnerable, that's okay, because that creates this kinetic energy in your presence that is transmuted to everyone who watches. So,
yes, I mean, it's about authenticity as well. And
that's why I think live streaming
is vulnerability and letting people know and knowing
Yeah.
it's okay. And most people will love you in spite because you're still coming across with a message that you're passionate about. So we know it's not about perfection, right, Michelle? It is.
I
just
think that's
about
why
caring.
I think that's why live streaming is so powerful, because people know it's live, even if they're watching the replay, they know it's live. And so it's more intimate, it's more immediate. And there's a lot of technology out there. We can do fancy whiz bangs with our videos, right? We can edit and put in slick things. You have gorgeous things in your opening, right? We know that that's there. So when people see you come through and hop in live, and they know it's live, there's a different level of trust built. And video is so powerful. If you've, I like to remind people, if they've ever watched a show, right, or binge watched a show, or back when we used to watch live TV, right, you want to find out what happens, or the series ends and you kind of miss your friends, right? Like you miss those characters and you want to know what happened. And that's how the brain processes moving images and sounds. It's another reason why video is so powerful. Our brains remember how those videos make us feel. So when people feel inspired because you were a little dorky and scared and your video was sideways once, they're like, oh my gosh, but did you hear what she said? This was so good. I can do it too. Right? They remember how we make them feel. And that's why video is really the most potent tool we have. There's crazy stats running around now about how 80% of Facebook content is going to be video in the next whatever years. And so it's a powerful tool and platform. So if you really want to share a message and you're not using video, you're not yet showing up in the biggest possible way, right? So my journey teaches my clients that fear and vulnerability, moving through it to be seen, heard, makes you even more potent as an agent of transformation and inspiration for your clients. So our journey is our story, as you were saying, and that's what makes us so good at what we do.
Yeah. And, I was just thinking about when I first did a live stream, and of course it was very new technology, like 13 years ago. And I remember saying, well, I'm going to do this anyway. And my heart was, beating hard. And, I was sweaty and dry mouthed and all the things that are indications of anxiety, et cetera. And I probably was broadcasting to two people live.
Right. We think that we're going live in front of millions and how the whole world's going to be watching and pointing and judging and laughing, right? But there's sometimes only a few people there. For sure.
Yeah. And all I can say is that does transform with just doing it a few more times, those feelings, that energy. However, there's nothing wrong with having some excitement, which is said to be like on the edge of anxiety, but it's just your excitement in being live and sharing what it is that you love and interviewing someone like I'm interviewing Michelle. So it's okay to have a little bit of that edge of excitement and anxiety when you're doing this work, because it brings your energy up. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to be sitting here all, sort of low key either. I would really like to have energy in the process. So that's really what you bring to a live stream. And I'm just curious. No,
Oh,
just
sorry.
let me throw this
Yeah,
in
go
and then
ahead.
I'm going to let you jump back in. I'm just curious for all of you who are listening today, how many of you have already put your foot in the water with Livestream? I'd love to
Mm.
hear about that and how it felt to you the first time you did it. Because for those who haven't done it yet, you can help encourage them as much as Michelle is doing today. Go ahead, Michelle.
I was just going to say that whole energetic, the excitement and fear being very physiologically similar. I like to tell people, to remind people that quantum physics has taught us that molecules behave differently under observation. So you are, everything's molecules, including you, and you know when you're being watched, even if it's just your little camera, right? So knowing that that's a part of the process and not having it mean something, oh my God, I'm nervous, I'm going to forget, right? You do always, I think, when we come on camera and we know we're speaking to an audience, our body does energize, like you're saying, and that's what it's supposed to do. It's designed that way. Everything's vibration, right? So not being so like, oh no, reactionary to that. Oh, my breath's a little bit shorter, my mouth's a little bit drier. Okay, and to keep going, and of course, find the skills and tools that are going to help ground you, and that is so powerful.
Oh yeah. So do you want to go into that a little deeper as far as the other visibility strategies that you have? Or are you ready to go on to giving us what we need to avoid, the pitfalls we need to avoid?
I think we can weave those two together because we're already kind of talking about one of the biggest pitfalls that I see people struggling with is waiting until they're ready.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Waiting until you feel ready, because that is it's a trap, right? It slows everything down, it tanks your momentum. And so one of the gifts that we'll share with your folks as well answers this. We wait till we're ready, and one of the biggest things I hear is that I don't know what to say. Yeah, I don't know what to say, or I don't have the right camera, or I don't know the technology. I'm overwhelmed by technology, right? I know you know all of these things too. So we wait until we're ready. And what that means is we've either got an endless imaginary checklist of all the things that have to be in line before we can do it, or we are waiting to get emotionally ready or content ready. And again, transformation happens through implementation. It's why I share frameworks versus scripting. And we can talk more about that if you want to, but waiting until we're ready will keep you in the waiting mode, right? It is through the action of the implementation that you become ready. You don't get confident and then do the highly visible things, right? You get a little bit of a framework, and one thing people thrive in is having the right kind of support. We can talk about that too if you want. And then implementing a little bit before you feel ready, right? Confidence, clarity come through courage. This is my confidence formula. Courage plus, make sure I do right. Yeah, plus action times repetition. Yeah. Okay. And that's where the clarity comes from. That's where the confidence comes from. So waiting until you're ready is one of the biggest things I see. Sometimes people taking years to put their offer, their business out there because life creeps in. They have to do their website. They have to get their JV thing going before they're ready. You know, you don't need that to share your message and help people transform.
Absolutely right on, Michelle. And I think that is a trap that many entrepreneurs get into. And I'm going to say probably more women than men. It's just, we're oftentimes a little more timid, wanting things to be perfect, so to speak, because we care about appearance. We care about how people perceive us. And so I can understand that you can get into that trap and then also find ways to procrastinate, thinking, well, I need to do this first. I need to have that to do that first. No, you just need to become available. You need to get out there in a way that, as you say, comes from your heart, your soul, your passion, because that's what's going to resonate with people. It's not if you have the perfect website, the perfect sales page, or the perfect live stream, because what people really invest in is you, your passion, your commitment, and your energy. That's what people resonate with, and that's what will attract them to you. So the rest of it, not saying you don't need to do it, but it's not probably the first thing you need to do. I agree with you there.
Yeah. It kind of leads to the second pitfall, which is almost the opposite of waiting till you're ready. And I call it scattershot visibility, where we try and get visible everywhere, right? We're going to get the website done, and we're going to get our LinkedIn profile and our Facebook profile, and our Instagram's going to be going, and we're going to get all of our branding done, and we're going to get our web landing page and our funnel and our ads, and we're going to get all the things, right? We got to get all those things, and then I'll open my doors for business, right?
Yeah.
I know you and I have both been a little bit down that journey where we were like, I have to do all of these things, and I'm getting all these things, and I'm building my thing, and I got to get my technology thing. And yes, there are lots of things, and we're being told by all kinds of amazing, successful, true people the things that we need. But I call that scattershot visibility, especially when you're working into your first 6 figures or your first mid 6-figure business, because you don't need to be visible everywhere. Consistency, clarity, confidence are way more important than trying to be everywhere. And it gets us back into that first pitfall, which is waiting until you're ready. Right? So if you think I have to wait till my website is done, if I have to wait till I have my landing pages done, I have to wait until then you're trying to be everywhere, right? You're caught in a cycle of busyness that will not help you grow your business. And so you got to pick a lane and stick to it. And the other thing that scattershot visibility does is it keeps us really visible. You could have 10,000 followers, right? And no clients, because there's some other things you need your visibility to do in order to get clients. So that first pitfall is waiting until you feel like it's ready, or waiting until it's ready. Easily can be the next step to be, I have to be visible everywhere, and doing so many things where you're like, I've had people, this is personal experience. Maybe 5 years ago now, people are like, man, your business is doing great. I'm seeing you everywhere, and all these people are promoting you, and it's doing so good. And you must be booming, right? And I'm like, thanks. I'm working my butt off, but I didn't have enough clients, right? I was visible, right? Without enough paying clients. So, 10 paying clients is way better than 10,000 followers, or even 100 followers. Right? So the scattershot visibility keeps you busy, and it may get you visible. People think you're rocking it. You can show lots of your A-reel, right? Oh man, she's so good. It's out there. Woo. But you don't have the clients that you need to grow a sustainable business. And it's very easy. I was just on a call with some of my colleagues who are going to social media marketing world this week. And, it's chronic that people are like, I just need to get more visible and get more out there and have this organic reach. But if you don't have the things in place to turn that organic reach into clients, then it'll quickly lead to burnout or frustration. I'm doing everything they told me, but I don't have the revenue, right? So that is the second pitfall that I see happening, and it kind of flows, right? I need to be ready. I'm going to do everything. Now I'm too distracted. I don't have time for clients because I'm so busy with my visibility plan, or I don't have a plan. So I'm just like putting it out there everywhere I can, right? And those things really slow you down in terms of actually signing up clients.
Yes. And as a result, I think you forget the key is not the visibility. Yes, of course, to establish yourself as an expert is important, but it's always about keeping the main thing, isn't it? And that is offering your services in a way that is compelling and attracting the right people, the perfect clients for you. And oftentimes we may get out there and share some passion or get visible in multiple ways and multiple platforms, as you would say, but forget to make the offer. Or don't make it clear that you have an offer. Don't make it clear that you are available for people to work with. And so I always say to people, you don't need to have all those sales pages right away, do you? You really just need to make yourself available to talk to somebody,
That's
share
right.
what you do, and
Mhm.
give them a possibility of what you might be able to do as far as what their needs are, how you might be able to
And
fill that
that
gap.
is the third pitfall that I always
Oh, there
talk
we go.
about. And it's not making offers and not
Okay.
knowing how to let your visibility lead to that offer being the next natural part in a conversation, so that it's awkward if you don't make an offer. Right? Like learning how to share high value content, what to say, so that people understand, first of all, what they think the problem is, and then helping them see what the real problem is, and then the possibility that there is a solution and what can happen with the solution, so that then for you to get someone to that point, it's transformation. Your marketing is transformation, right?
Yeah.
Your marketing will reach more people than you'll ever work with or hire you. You don't know whose life you could change through your marketing, and then learning how to do that so that when they follow the path, they want to know how to hire you is important. It's a critical step, not only for you and your sustainable business, but for them. So that when you're not leading consistently to offers and invitations, that you're leaving them hanging without the solution. You're really kind of letting them down, right? And that's a huge reframe for most people in the transformation space. I have clients filling out things every day that say, like, I'm just so uncomfortable making it, because we think it's about us, right? And you want your messaging to be helping them to greater and greater levels of awareness, accepting that there's possible help, that there's a possible solution, also accepting what the real problem is, right? A lot of people think, I need to get more visible. And we're like, well, maybe you need to have more aligned visibility, focused visibility. Maybe you need to start before you feel ready, right? We're sharing some of those tools here. And then having a mechanism both for yourself and ultimately for your scalable business to let people know how to hire you to have help, let people know how you help them and what's possible when they get the help, right? And it's so charged, especially again in the transformation space. It's so charged for people. A lot of people just want to do their healing work. We just want to help, or we just feel so vulnerable again around the investment to work with me in this coaching package is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So knowing even how to say that part can be very transformational. And again, just like going on live or doing video at all, saying those words and leading to that invitation can feel equally body betrayal, mouth dry. What am I going to do? So there's an expansion opportunity for us in there too, the person making the offer too.
I love that you're saying that there's an expansion possibility in making an offer, in providing a solution for someone, and not making it a personal ego thing, because instead it's like you're offering, you're making an offering. It's up to the person to decide if that offering is appropriate or the right time for them. And so when you take that burden off of, I need to worry about making a sale here and I don't feel comfortable asking for a sale, instead thinking of it as offering a service, offering a solution, can sort of change, as you say, the way you feel energetically about doing it or saying it to them. So good stuff, Michelle. What do you guys think? I want to hear from you. Share your comments, share your gems in the comment section. We'll look forward to responding to all of those. So now, Michelle, you got 3 pro tips coming up here for us.
Yeah.
From the Performers Toolbox.
Yeah, I just made a note of another one. So as you were talking, to recap on that offer for just a moment, double dip in there. You're holding this sacred moment for them when you make an offer, when you give them an opportunity to actually have the transformation or the thing that they want. And you make that offer with courage for them, not for you. Whatever they say is irrelevant, whether they say yes or no, because you've provided them an opportunity to invest in having what they want. And we are so distracted, so busy, and there's so much messaging that says, who am I to say I can't have what I want? I have to take care of all these other things first. I'm not that important, all that stuff. So when you say, do you really want this? Here's how I can help. And this is the investment. They have this moment of saying, I had a huge moment where somebody said that to me in a way that I was like, whoa, if I really believe in myself and I'm really this called, and I have this help that's telling me exactly what I need, and I say no, I was like, do I believe what I teach? Do I really, you know what I mean? It was a brilliant opportunity. And so when we're coming into the offer space, it's a transformation, so much transformation possible for the person who's considering it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just jump in there. I mean, it gets me to those performers toolkits, believe it or not. The acting training that I had, professional acting training for lots of years in lots of ways, professional New York City actress, blah, blah. Awesome. So grateful I got to do that. Is that everything that gives us fear about being visible, fear of not knowing what to say, waiting until we're ready, all of the things like you were sharing, Virginia, about how I felt like I was going to broadcast to millions, right? That feeling, our vulnerability on video, our vulnerability saying, I'm a thought leader, I'm a messenger, whatever it is in our head, right? It's all made up. It's all made up. And so when you're an actor, when you're trained as an actor, the first exercise I got in my first professional acting class was to answer the question, who are you? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Well, it was a big question for a 17-year-old, right? But the next question that they had is what are your given circumstances? So it's all made up. When you believe the world of a character, it's because they're pretending well. And when you believe that you're going to be awkward and nobody wants to hear from you, and you're pretending. So to imagine what you want to be like, what you want to create, how you want to be. Imagine instead that everybody's judging you and everybody else is better than you. Imagine that there are a handful of people that have been looking for you because there are, that want to hear what you have to say because there are, and start letting your imagination work in your favor and work on your client's behalf and your potential client's behalf instead of working against you, because it's all made up.
That's a great tip. Would you guys agree? It's all made up. That fear that we carry in so many different levels, so many different dynamics is all made up. And to really transform it, do a quick 180-degree shift into imagining what you really want, imagining it already as if it's already occurred for you in a way that is satisfying, not only for you, but for the people that you're relating to, the potential customers that you have. Now,
and that the little
your energy is shifting, isn't it,
yeah,
Michelle?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And the little black circle that you're talking to, instead of imagining that there's a whole bunch, millions of people out there judging you and thinking you're making a fool of yourself, imagining that there's one, I call them adoring fans, right? When you've had a client who's like, oh my gosh, here's $50,000. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Every time I talk to you, I feel better. You're like, I want more of that, please. Right?
Yes.
And so when I can choose what I'm focusing on, so many people don't like to talk to the lens, as I'm sure you know, right? So when I put that person, those people through the lens one at a time, better, that's the next actor's tool. We have to go do auditions, right? Where we're standing in a room on a mark in front of a video camera or just a table full of people ignoring you. And we have to pretend we're talking to someone, right? We're doing a monologue. So this is very translatable to people alone in their houses with their video cameras, right? There's nobody there. So use your imagination again, talk to one adoring fan. Even if you have one of those clients, put their picture right there and just talk right to them. Yeah, talk to one person. That's a huge marketing tool. And when you're from the Performers Toolkit, this idea of really focusing on the one person who actually wants to hear, and be specific. What color is their hair? What do they sound like? Give them reactions and let them, and really imagine that that's who you're talking to and that they do want to hear it and that you are sitting in front of a rapt audience of eyes beaming with hope. Yeah. Instead of like, oh, who is that? Oh my God, she's making a fool of herself. Right.
Yeah, I used to do the same thing early on. Now the camera already is my friend. I've gotten so used to it being there, but I always said to people, think of the camera as your friend. So who's your best buddy that you'd like to be hanging out with and having a conversation with? And I would, in the early days, I'd have a picture behind there, just like you were saying, right behind the camera. So it felt more intimate, because for sure, looking at a black circle is not that intimate in itself. But when you transform it into a good friend, it can make a big difference.
Or to our point about in sales and clients signing up being the goal of visibility, really to somebody who wants to hire you, even that jump from good friend to potential perfect client can give us stuff to heal. Right? It can elevate the imagining, right? It can elevate the experience for us. But it not only does it work to help your camera confidence and your on-camera presence and those things, it also ultimately, when you know how to have your messaging go from where your clients are to that conversation, and then you hold them right there, it can be very powerful for having clients actually sign up, right? When you're staying right there with them like that.
Yeah, and I like that. You really have made the leap to the next level as far as growing your business is concerned. Because if you do imagine that you're speaking to a potentially amazing, what I would call dream client, then your experience is going to be elevated as well. And I'm sure that your message will come
your
across.
Language, exactly.
Yeah. So that's good. Did you have any other tips for us?
Well, I do. I have a couple more. One of the things from the Performers Toolkit that goes right along with this is that instead of feeling like I got to get a client, I have to get my message out, I have to figure out what to say, because that what to say piece is so loud for people. We have a whole 3-day event coming up called What to Say to 100K and beyond, because what do I say in my content? What do I say in my offers? What do I say in all of those things, right? Is very charged for people. So it's not about you. It's not about you getting clients. It's not about you getting your message across. It's about them. So that's another tool from the Performers Toolkit that taught me when I'm in a scene with another person, right? I'm listening. That's what made me a great actress, because I could listen and then respond, right? Instead of thinking I need to get a client, I have to figure out what to say, focus on them. And in our event, in our courses, we teach a lot of ways of like, how do you figure out what they're thinking and what they say, right? How do we gather their language and those kinds of things, so that it's not about you trying to get a client or trying to get your message across. It's about you meeting them where they are and then helping them build a bridge toward where they want to be. That leads to like, and here's how I can help you get there. Right? So focusing on the other instead of, it's also a great tool for fear and stage fright, right? If even one person can be helped, will you show up and shine, to use your word?
Well, and in listening, really what you're doing is getting out of your head and getting more into your heart, because you can't listen, generally speaking, if you're worrying too much about what you're going to say, instead of listening so that you can be responsive, so that you can authentically communicate. It's much more comfortable, number one. And number two, people are going to feel that energy very differently than if you're worried in your head about what's the next thing, the perfect next thing to say. Because there is no perfect next thing to say anyway. And if it must come from your heart.
And from your intuition, from your inner guidance, from your expertise, right? And when we're future casting and just like, how do I say it? And I've been there, especially when it came to enrollment, because I took a lot of training on how do I do it and what am I feeling? You're spot on with that's why when we really focus on them, even if it's a little black circle, and it is somebody who could potentially be our client that we could actually help have the transformation that they want, it elevates everything for them as much as for us.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
It's a
So
really great bonding circle.
It goes right into the other thing. Well, there's two other things that I would share from the Performers Toolkit. When you're making up a character, you have to look at I mentioned the kind of given circumstances of the world, your world, and the character's world, the other person you're talking to's world. So this is where it gets to the adoring fan, or you call them your dream client. Really know who you're talking to, right? So not only are you focusing on them, but know who they are, right? Know what they want, know what their dreams are, what they ache for, what they think's in their way, what's, what they struggle with, what they wish, right? Know the details of their life. Putting yourself in a day of your ideal client is incredibly transformational. We do that in one of our challenges that's all about offers. And your inspired offers, imagine what they wake up to and what they're thinking and what they're wishing. So really getting very specific with that dream client, not to find the perfect niche and I've got to narrow my niche and get myself into a box because the marketers told me so, but more like, who are they? Who are they living and breathing, right? Living and breathing with the people taking a walk in their shoes, right? Of the people that you feel called to serve. Yeah. So know who you're talking to. Yeah.
So much great stuff, you guys. I hope you're taking notes because there's a lot here to absorb, and it's probably something you're going to want to watch again because it will be out there for you to watch later on as well. So, excellent. Michelle, this has been so valuable, and I know you also have a gift for everyone, and I'm going to bring up the image for it first, give them the link, and then turn it over to you to let them know what it's all about. So the gift from Michelle is, you can go to hmtips.com/Michelle gift. That's where you're going to get it. And Michelle, go ahead and let them know what this gift is all about.
What I thought I would like to share, because so many people struggle with what to say. What do I say, right? On so many levels. And then not only what to say just to be visible, but also what do I say to actually have clients signing up, right? So I wanted to share our gift. I call it the fast video formula, but it is really can be used as a template for any content that you create, so that it has engagement, but it always is leading people to take that next small step toward you. And we have a series of training videos that come with that as well. And I wanted to, that's the gift that I wanted to share with your audience right now. And depending on when you watch, you'll also have the opportunity to join us for the What to Say to 100K and Beyond live event coming up. We do that a couple times a year. So
if you go ahead and get Michelle's gift, again, going to hmtips.com/Michelle gift, you have the opportunity to get the fast video formula, and in addition, learn more about or attend the What to Say for 100K
and beyond.
And beyond.
Yes. So I really believe so passionately. People will say, I need to do video and I don't know what to say in a video, but that is the tip of the iceberg. And it can be a distraction to think I need to learn video if you're not leading to a way for people to hire you. So we build that in. Even our free gifts want to get you all the way to that. And we have, as I said, a couple times a year are doing the What to Say to 100K and Beyond live virtual 3-day event. It's incredible to gather with people and to do some real talk, real training, and real connecting with others, especially in this distracted time. I'm hearing from so many people, like, I'm taking too many courses. I have to finish these courses before I can do this, or I'm doing all these things to get ready before I actually get clients, right? And when you know what to say very directly so that people can hire you very quickly, you have way more momentum in your business. And I think it's important that we look at our business. It's very easy, especially for me. I felt so called. I spent 25 years with professional performance studios because answering a calling because I wanted to help people. But I struggled as a business owner because I wasn't taking the business seriously. So we weave that training. Day 2 of our event is about that really what that six-figure business looks like. Where does it start? Why is it important for me? The expression of who you are, that calling, when those of us who are here are business owners. And when you take that business seriously and let it grow, it's going to make way more impact than you alone can make. So just doing some real powerful training and connection, lots of ahas around what is that 100K business? What is that 250K business? What is that 500K business? It's not about working more. It's actually about how do we build a business where we're doing the part we love and having a sustainable income and revenue, and hopefully business, right? So that it's not just us pedaling on the hamster wheel. We do lots of good stuff out of it.
And actually, getting in touch with the imaginative part of it, because you got to first imagine what it feels like to have that business
100%.
and how you get there so that you can start to implement what you're starting to manifest is really what it's about.
100%.
So you got to start with imagination. So,
yeah. And a lot of people, especially in the transformation space, we feel called and we're like, I just need enough clients to get by. I just want to have enough clients to have a good life, right? But when you're in this just want to have, and I know it because I lived it, I've had a rigorous gratitude practice for 30 years. I've been living on a day-to-day gratitude basis. I'm just grateful for what I have. I just need enough to get by. We're so blessed. We're so blessed. My world shrank. It shrank. My resources shrank. My debt grew. My bandwidth shrank. And I was grateful. I did have everything to be grateful for, but I forgot to expand. Yeah. And I say your business is your spiritual path. Your business is a creative act. And it is when we step into and allow it to expand, because it's the nature of the universe to expand. Yeah. And so it's very powerful, not only for you, but for the world, for your potential clients. Doesn't mean you have to have $1 million empire, but you can if you want. Right. And if you just need enough to get by, you're keeping it small. The universe is going to fill the bucket the size you make. Right?
I love it.
The universe is going to fill the bucket you give it. Here, please, sir, may I have some more? Yeah. Right? It's going to fill the bucket you give it. So a lot of times through spiritual training, we're told to, we don't need money, all that stuff. So when you give it a bucket that says, I want enough to have some team, I want enough to have a little advertising budget, I want enough to help 100 people instead of 10, I want enough. And that's work that I see in the transformation space. We do so beautifully in community. Creativity thrives in collaboration, and your business is a creative act. So that's what we do at our event and in our course.
Gem, you guys. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, so this has been fabulous. We could go on, I know, but I think we'll stop at this point, and we'd love again to hear from all of you the gems that you have heard today. And Michelle, thank you so much for being here and taking your time and your passion and your expertise and putting it out there. So we just want to say, I'm going to give you one chance for one final word that you want to leave everybody with today.
A word? One word?
Well, it doesn't have to be just one word, but one final thought message.
So I'll just go with what comes. So first of all, the sensation and vibration of your voice is totally unique, like your DNA. The ones and zeros on the technology that record your face, your voice, video, audio, capture that energetic presence. And when you give voice to your vision, which is the name of one of the free trainings I do, you create space for the world to transform. Your message matters. Your voice matters. No one says it the way you do. And you are worthy, and your business is worthy of having oodles of support to help lift you up so that you can lift others up.
Perfect final words. Thank you again, Michelle. And thank you everyone for taking the time to be here. I know your time is valuable, but wasn't this information powerful and valuable? Again, thanks, Michelle, and everyone. We'll see you all on the next Inspirational Businesswoman show. Thanks so much for watching today. Do you know someone who would be a great guest for our show? Or would you like to be a guest on the Inspirational Business Women show? Let's shine the spotlight on your expertise. We'll share your story while offering tips, strategies, and advice to our viewers. Expert interviews are a great way to build your reputation as the go-to expert. Go to shinetips.com/IBWS to apply today. Women are waiting for your message, and I can't wait to interview you.